Welcome to our summer in Idaho. We arrived to central Idaho right as their fire season began and just couldn't beat the heat. The skies were completely white, heavy with smoke, and the days were pushing 100 degrees. We came here for work, but stayed to explore the area. We found this camp spot right next to the river so we could cool off during the days, but the real goal was to take the jet boat on the rivers here.
All right, we're out here in Idaho and it's pretty smoky. There's a fire about 40 miles east of us, but we're making the most of it and we're about to put the boat in and do some running on this river here. Push it off.
If you're just now following our adventures and don't know much about our boat, it's a 2020 12-foot Jetstream Buccaneer. It's a 4-seater with a Sea-Doo 260 jet ski motor, so it has an impeller instead of a prop. We need about 3 feet of water to get started and get on step, but then we only draft about 3 to 6 inches, so we can run in pretty shallow rivers.
Beautiful. Yeah, this is beautiful.
We were excited this summer to come to Idaho to meet others in the jet boat community and get more river experience to work our way up to being able to try some whitewater sections later in the summer.
Oh, look at this. So awesome.
Oh my God.
This trip on the river was mostly scenic flatwater with a few ripples. We turned around before the Class 3 rapids started. As only our second summer with the boat, and early in the summer, we were still gaining confidence and experience on more technical rivers. Nothing beats the feeling of skimming on glass at sunset, but Blake was excited to start trying some bigger rapids, which you'll get to see in a later episode.
Woo! All right. Only a place a jet boat can go.
Heck yeah.
All right, we just had a good day on the water. Rachel's gonna go ahead and pull the truck out. Check it out.
We went in search of some higher elevation, craving to see what the Idaho Alpine had to offer. One thing we'd been surprised to learn already was how low of elevation certain areas in Idaho were, like Lewiston at 700 feet, which made sense why their fire season started so early and the heat we experienced. A 100 degrees is just not bearable in a camper, so we found ourselves a spot to post up in this beautiful meadow at 7,000 feet.
All right, so we just got to camp, setting up right before sunset. We're grilling some chicken and got a nice huge fire pit that we won't be using due to all the fire restrictions. But yeah, check this out.
The next day we geared up to ride and we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. The day started out as riding past fields of wildflowers and alpine lakes and a few tough climbs, but nothing too difficult.
This rocks. Woo! Look at that.
Blake was in heaven on these skinny single tracks. He'd routed us a big 50-mile loop for us on Onyx of mostly single track. And at this point, we were still making good progress.
Okay, this is what the trails are like in Idaho?
So cool. a lot of people ride this spot, that's for sure.
So the first problem was that we didn't get on the trail till noon. And then we wasted a bunch of time sitting on our phones getting service on the trail. Then we had to backtrack because the trail had been rerouted. So then we came up to these gnarly switchbacks that pretty much just went down the face of a mountain. And if we wanted to keep doing our loop, Blake just had to ride them for me.
Is this a switchback?
Yep. What's a doozy there?
Yeah, this one looks really hard. I'm definitely gonna need your help on this one.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Don't let your bike tip over.
I'm gonna try not to. It looks nasty. Look at that.
Thanks, Blake.
It's all good. Part of dirt biking.
Oh, it's tough when you don't know what the trails are gonna be like.
Yeah.
The switchbacks should have been an indicator to us that the next section was going to get way worse. It essentially put us into a hole of a valley full of boulders and logs, and the trail just didn't exist. It just wasn't beat-in enough to follow, and we kept losing it every 100 feet. We were not going back up those switchbacks, so we just kept attempting to find the trail.
Do you think this trail's right?
This is... Oh, it might be right over there.
Does no one ride this?
This is a pretty loose definition of a trail, even for Idaho terms. I mean, it says I'm right on it. Do you see it? Here we go. There's the trail. We got off it. Alright, it's steep. What do you find, huh? Both brakes. You're going good. There we go, a little more major trail here. This is some crazy shit.
Blake would power up an obstacle, then come back to help me.
All right, so here we are, undisclosed location in the PNW, and this is the trail. Can't even find it. There's a cairn, the rock. So we know we're on the trail, but you can't tell where it is. It's crazy.
At this point, it was almost 6 p.m. and we were only halfway through our loop. We were barely making any progress. I knew we'd be getting back late. And we were seriously running out of water.
Might as well.
We were so lucky that in mid-July in Idaho, the sun doesn't set until after 9.
We're back on it. Here's the cairn.
After several hours of this, the trail finally connected to a more mellow trail that took us back to the road to camp, getting us back with about 10 minutes left of dusk. We had to take the next day off to recover, and it rained anyway. And this was the first rain we'd seen in months. We chilled at camp instead, hiked up to a hill to get service, and enjoyed the fresh air after the rain.
All right, another crazy trail. No shortage of grass here.
We did brave the trails again the next day, but stuck to a shorter trail closer to camp. It wasn't near as gnarly as the route before, but still had some tricky spots, and it brought us past these beautiful alpine lakes and scenery we can only imagine we'll ever find in Idaho.
little bit of a drop here. Little grind-a-bike program. Definitely some amazing trails. Look at this.
How did you do this?
So just go right through the middle to the right of, or to the left of the log, and just use the log as a step. Hard left, hard left.
The rain continued, but we were just happy not to be in 100-degree weather. And Blake was just happy he only had to help me in one spot instead of for hours on end like our first ride.
Whew. Not ideal.
We couldn't wait to see what the rest of the summer held for us based on our first few adventures in Idaho. And after being here for just a couple weeks, we were loving every minute.
Please send box trailer sponsorship. We need help. It's brutal.
Tune in next episode for hot springs, more great boondocking, and find out if we survive the whitewater.